Michael Bay's 2007 live-action Transformers movie is a goddamn cinematic spectacle. Dare I say, a masterpiece. Now, I know what you guys are probably saying. Pessimistic Prime, Michael Bay, and masterpiece in the same sentence? Are you smoking the devil's sugar? Well, maybe I am. But before I have to defend myself against all you keyboard warriors, let me catch you guys up to speed and explain how we got here at this moment. On Tuesday, I had the privilege of watching Transformers in theaters again after 18 long years since its debut in theaters back in 2007. Shout out to my local theater, Harkins by the way, for doing this. Every Tuesday, they do a classic throwback movie night, and of course, their most recent one was 2007's Transformers. Gosh, I cannot believe it's already been 18 years since this movie hit theaters back in 2007. At that time, I probably was about 6 years old, which, gosh, I feel old at this point now looking back at it. So of course, Mr. Pessimistic Prime couldn't possibly pass up an opportunity to relive the nostalgia of his childhood. So I, along with my fiance and my family, we went ahead and we watched the movie Tuesday night. Of course, I wore a Transformers t-shirt like a fucking dork that I am, acting like I never felt the touch of a woman before. But my God, I've seen this movie 1,000 times, like many of you guys watching this video, but there's just something different about watching it in the theaters, especially a movie like this, which of course, like I mentioned earlier, I would consider it a masterpiece. Now, of course, I'm a little biased because, this is a movie that I grew up on. So of course, I'm gonna, be a little biased towards it. We had a packed out theater, which of course was awesome. It's great to know that there are still people who are interested in these old Transformer movies. It was a great experience and I cannot wait to just dive in with you guys and explain why I think this thing is a masterpiece. Of course, maybe I'm using the word masterpiece too lightly here. Maybe I shouldn't use it, but it is for sure that this movie is in fact a cinematic spectacle on all proportions. So go ahead, sit back, relax, and allow me to explain why I believe that this movie is a masterpiece. Michael Bay's 2007 live-action Transformers film does a lot of great things that is sorely missing in today's Hollywood, and does them incredibly well. One thing that stands out immediately once this movie starts is Steve Jablonsky's score, which to this day I still think is criminally underrated. A score that I still listen to this day. In my humble opinion, this movie has one of the greatest movie scores of all time, Arrival to Earth. Not because it sounds amazing and as if it was sent down here from the heavens, but because it perfectly captures the importance of such an iconic moment like this, when the rest of the Autobots make their way to Earth for the very first time and we all see them gather in that alley and just be in awe as we see them transform for the very first time in front of our eyes, and hearing Optimus Prime say those words.
Are you Samuel James Witwicky, descendant of Archibald Witwicky? My name is Optimus Prime. We are autonomous robotic organisms from the planet Cybertron.
I cannot begin to tell you guys how it felt watching this scene in theaters. I won't lie, I possibly had shed a tear or a few. Ha! Gay! I almost forgot how impactful and iconic Steve Jablonsky's score was. Now this is cinema. Music is such an important instrument in crafting a movie. Music that makes you feel something, whether it be in awe or sadness, fear or anger, or even happiness. And this wasn't the only moment in the film where the score stands out. Almost every scene that has a score, it stands out. Whether it be the theme for the Decepticons, the theme for the Allspark, or even Sam Witwicky's theme. The very beginning of the movie starts off with an absolute banger of a score titled Autobots. This score, paired along along with the voice of Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime, narrating about the Allspark for the very first time is just as smooth as butter. It is amazing to witness this in theaters. From starting off with a majestic and wondrous score to then switching to a violent and chaotic score in the form of Sociant Attack. When we are first introduced to the power of the Decepticons in the form of Blackout, Steve Jablonsky really knocked it out of the park when it came to scoring this film, and I honestly feel that he is one of the most underrated composers to this day and deserves his flowers for giving a voice to the Transformer films. And you cannot talk about the music in the Transformer films without bringing up Linkin Park. Who would have thought that Linkin Park and Transformers would be a match made in heaven? And who could forget that iconic ending to this film? Watching the ending of Optimus Prime narrate over Linkin Park, it honestly made me a little emotional. It brought me back to being that 6-year-old back in 2007 watching the movie for the very first time and just being in complete awe of this film. And just from there, my love for Transformers just kept growing and growing because of that iconic ending that is still imprinted into all of our minds to this day. In a world full of corporately created pieces of crap movies that get put out year after year just to make a few bucks that have no heart, no style, Transformers was ahead of its game. The Transformers movies had style, and that was all thanks to Michael Bay. Now, whether you like him or you hate him, whether you love him or despise him, you cannot deny the fact that Michael Bay is a talented director. Not a perfect director, but a talented director. From getting his start in the industry directing music videos and commercials to scoring his first ever movie directing role in 1995's Bad Boys, he would then tackle on Transformers, and the rest is history. What makes these movies so memorable, especially the first three, is how Michael Bay incorporates his style into these films. Known for his high concept action films with fast cutting, stylistic cinematography and visuals and extensive use of CGI, it was a pair made in heaven. Until we get to films 4 and 5, but we won't talk about that. His directing added a sense of chaos and wonder when the Transformers were on screen, as well as filming in a way that makes the audience feel like we are there right in the action, which in return helps create a spectacle of a movie experience. This is something that is sorely missing in today's Hollywood. Directors who are afraid to add their style to big movie projects, specifically Marvel and Star Wars. Every shot in this film is shot with a purpose. It has life and color to it. That and the absolutely incredible CGI. When Michael Bay first joined the project, he knew from the start that he wanted to take on a realistic approach to the icons that we know and love today. Gone were the days of the simplified designs of these characters. Here were the days of the over-designed / realistic Transformers. A choice that didn't sit well with many die-hard Transformer fans, but even with the complicated designs of these characters, the goal still remained the same: creating photorealistic CGI of the Transformers. And my God, I can't believe that after 18 long years, the CGI aged perfectly and is even 10 times better than most CGI today. The first time we see all the Autobots together on screen, while the Arrival to Earth score played in the background, was pure magic. Especially on the big screen. It reminded me of the first time we see the dinosaurs in the first Jurassic Park movie. That magical feeling of seeing something that feels otherworldly, something that is sorely missing in today's Hollywood. ILM really worked their asses off to create these photorealistic icons, and I still can't believe that after 18 years, the CGI is still better than what Hollywood has been shitting out of their asses lately. Michael Bay, along with ILM, perfectly captured the magic of Transformers. It was absolutely awesome and worth seeing in theaters again after 18 long years. And of course, I can't forget about Shia LaBeouf. Whatever your opinions are of him are probably valid, but I just can't help but praise him for the energy and humor he brought to these movies. Shia LaBeouf made these movies just by simply being himself. A character that was just trying to get the car and the girl. Something that I think all of us young men can relate to. I just couldn't help but keep thinking thinking that as I was watching this movie. Sam and Michaela's story may have not been the best romantic story, but it surely was entertaining and funny seeing Sam try to rizz up Michaela. And of course, I can't forget about that car scene. The scene where boys became men. Gone were the days of playing with your Transformer toys. Here were the days of chasing the neighborhood hoochie. Looking back at it now, I can't help but feel a little weird watching this scene because it's over-sexualized. And since in the movie, she's technically a teenager, but that's Michael Bay for you, so. I couldn't help but laugh a couple times at Megan Fox for her horrendous line delivery. How come nobody told her, you know, she looked goofy saying this shit? I mean, roll the clip.
Because I don't know, I guess I just have a weakness for hot guys, for tight abs and really big arms.
You think I'm shallow?
Visitors from heaven, what are you, like an alien or something?
Why, if he's supposed to be like this super advanced robot, does he transform back into this piece of crap Chimera?
Every character in this film adds something to it, whether it was in the humor, the badassery, or just being a straight up jackass.
So Freddy Krueger done been up in here or something?
Oh no, man. Freddy Krueger had 4 blades, man. That's only 3. That's Wolverine. Right? That's Wolverine.
That's very funny.
Each character was memorable in their own little way. I always tend to forget about how funny this movie actually is. And we're not talking about Marvel annoying humor funny. We're talking about actually funny humor that blends in really well in any type of scene.
If I had a rock, I'll bust your head, bitch. Say, man, she deaf, you know? But over here.
Whether it's during a war zone or a party at the lake or just trying to buy your first car, the writers and Michael Bay mastered a way to incorporate humor without it being a complete distraction to the overall story. A story that does have its issues, okay? A weak generic plot that's predictable, but I think that was the whole point. This movie wasn't aiming to have a Citizens Kane level story. It wasn't aiming to be a Godfather Part 1 and 2 level type story. To put it simply, this movie is a spectacle with visually stunning effects that still hold up to this day, a high energy, entertaining, action-packed popcorn experience. This is what cinema is really about. Movies that make you feel something, movies that capture the magic of movie making, movies that feel authentic, not something that was corporately constructed. This is what makes it a masterpiece. Sure, using masterpiece is a stretch, but I really don't care. This movie made me love Transformers. It made me feel as if I was at 6-year-old kid again, seeing my hero Optimus Prime on the big screen for the first time, kicking ass and fighting for the freedom of the human race. But after watching this movie, I couldn't help but ask myself this question: can Transformers capture this type of magic again? Because it is sorely missed in today's Hollywood. And I hate to say it, but it was something that was missing in the Transformers Rise of the Beast movie. I can't lie, after watching this movie in theaters again, it made me miss Michael Bay. With the rumor of Michael Bay coming back, could we be on the verge of something special again? Or will Transformers continue to trend downward? Look, I know I may be over-exaggerating here when I call this movie a masterpiece. I know that it's not this otherworld godly masterpiece of a movie, but you cannot deny the fact that this movie is something special. It is movie magic at its finest. Who knows if they can recreate this magic again for Transformers. Seeing this in theaters is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I was so happy to be able to experience it all over again with my family, with my dad, and is one of the biggest reasons why I love Transformers to this day. Do you guys think that Transformers can capture that magic it used to have? Let me know down below what you guys think. While on your way out, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share. And as always, till all are one.